All right, we're good. All right, boys, we are back. We've got the Week 8 recap, Week 9 look ahead, the one, the only, the Gat Daddy in the building. We had the Grant versus Gatlin matchup this past week, last Thursday. We'll talk about that. But I have two pressing topics that I need to discuss before we get into anything.
Let's hear it.
You know those little 2-packs of Starburst that you give to kids on Halloween?
Yep.
I probably ate about 500 of those over the past week.
How many were yellow?
With that being said, if you open a pack of those up, what's like your two colors that you hope you get in there?
Red and pink.
Red and pink. Okay. I'm an orange guy. That's pretty
orange.
obvious.
Orange would be 3.
Orange hits. All right. So number 2. What do you think that Aaron Rodgers did to Kyle personally? What do you think he did?
I don't know.
See, I don't either. And I'm a rider for Kyle. If he would just come out and tell us, I'd be fuck Aaron Rodgers. But until then, I've just got to assume that Kyle's just being Kyle and he's being sensitive about the subject.
So. I don't know, man. I just think Aaron Rodgers is kind of like I get it. I get that, take responsibility and we want to win. But I don't know, man. He's just kind of being a bitch about it too.
Yeah, I can see that. I think a lot of his frustration is that, he demands a high level of play from himself. And then whenever it appears that the ones around him aren't demanding those same expectations from themselves, I think that's probably where the frustration starts. But, again, he's been in the league 15 years, and a lot of these guys are, 1 or 2 years in the league. So
right. So they're still getting their feet wet. And I think it's just something that you – just if possible, unless it gets to that point, but leave it in the locker room. And then if it gets to the point where you need to call motherfuckers out, then do it, but leave it in the locker room.
Yeah, I agree. I do think though, and Shane said it, that him and Tom Brady especially compared to, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow is the same age as his receivers.
Yep.
Tom and Aaron, they've kind of earned that respect that they can kind of ramrod the show. That's just my opinion. And speaking of Tom, last Thursday night, we've got the Ravens coming into beautiful Tampa Bay. Tampa closed as a -1.5 favorite, I believe.
Yeah, we were 1.5 for the whole day, and then right at the end, we lost it.
The Bucks look.
The Bucks. Yep, they're our offense, I don't know, dude, I have such mixed emotions about Greg Roman just because he can run the ball good, but his passing schemes are garbage. And I don't know why we come out in the first half. They said it was a part of the scheme, throwing the ball 30 times in the first half. It didn't work. Then just run it, and it worked.
Yeah, I think at the end, people that are mailing it in, Tampa's defense is this, Tampa's defense is that, they've been on the field for 40 minutes. At that point,
they're exhausted.
It don't matter who's running the ball, they're going to be able to gash you. So
losing Shaq hurts for Tampa.
It's terrible.
That sucks. I've learned to never count Tom Brady out. I don't care what their record is. I don't care what the score in the game is. I will never count Tom Brady out. Never.
Yeah. So, as long as they can squeak into the playoffs, they still got a chance. But, hey, right now, 7th overall pick leading into next year's draft.
Who's your top 3 power rankings right now in the NFL?
In the NFL, it'd be hard for me not to say Bills 1. And then number 2 being probably Kansas City. Number 1, Buffalo. Number 2, Kansas City. Number 3, Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's hard for me to put Philly above Buffalo or Kansas City because look at their schedule. I'm not going to take anything away from Philly. They're an excellent team, but dude, they have not played anybody worth a damn.
Bro, Jalen, this is something I'll totally crow on this one. Jalen Hurts is fucking balling.
Jalen Hurts is a baller. AJ Brown is a fucking baller too.
Yeah, and again, it turns out that wide receivers matter.
Yes, they do.
He's got more receiving yards than all of the Titans wide receivers combined.
Yeah, but then what about in Vegas? Derek Carr, who can throw the ball, and then he's got Devontae Adams, who just.
Yeah, I don't know what in the fuck's going on there. I just listened to Pardon My Take when I was walking my dog. Josh McDaniels' record as a head coach, not counting whenever they got off to that hot start with Jay Cutler in Denver, is 6-42 as a head coach.
So that's what you think, that's maybe where the problem lies, is in the coaching?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you said it. Derek Carr is serviceable.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs is a beast.
Yep. I thought he was done, but then this year he proved
I don't think Waller's playing, but Waller's a beast.
when he's on the field.
Hunter's right up there as one of the best slot guys in the NFL. And, Devontae Adams, like everybody's probably going to say Devontae, Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Hopkins, those guys right up there, A.J. Brown right there.
Jamar Chase.
Who?
Jamar Chase.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting him up there, especially after the Bengals. Like, dude, there's no way I expected them to lose that game, even without Jamar Chase.
Yeah, my buddy Robbie is a big Bengals fan, and he got me pumped up before the game to take the over at 44.5. It was 45, so it was close.
Yeah, and 35 of it was the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, Chubb is Chubb. Chubb's a stud.
Myles Garrett is a game changer.
It's bad news for the rest of that division if the Browns are still in it whenever Deshaun Watson gets back.
I know, but they're just so far behind. I mean, like, we're just so far ahead in the AFC North at this point because the Bengals have the best record, but they're 0-3.
Yeah, but Ravens are up, and then Bengals are 1 game back, and the Browns are 2 games back, right?
Yeah. Bengals are 1 game. Well, that kind of. They're more 2 games back because 1 game back, they lose that tiebreaker every time. So.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I guess time will tell. Eagles look great. Buffalo looks great. We'll see. Vegas is a total head scratcher. I thought they were going to the Super Bowl this year. So let's roll into last week's matchups. The first matchup I have on my list is my good friend, the hot dog king himself, John Henry. He was able to rub his nutsack all over my drum set. Justin Fields with 26, Saquon with 14, and here's the one that really did it, A.J. Brown with 37. I think the biggest thing to say about this is John scored 97 points, and Devontae Adams had 0.7 points. So congratulations to Jonathan. The lone bright spot on my team being Jalen Waddle with 27.
First matchup I got is Blake Randu versus myself. It was a pretty close game. Ended up being a 6-point game, but it was just a stinker. It was Tua versus Jalen Hurts. Jalen had 28, Tua had 29. But then outside of that, the only players with double digits, he had Zach Ertz and Lenny. But aside from that, no one else in our entire game had double-digit points. It was just, I mean, he had Hunter Renfrow get 1.1 and Cortland Sutton get 1.8 and still beat me. So not a whole lot I could do there, but it's a good win for Blake. Puts him 5-3.
Yeah. All right. So the next matchup I have is the Snake Charmer versus our fearless leader, Sharky's Goonies. 126-98. A little point explosion for Uriah here. Kyler Murray, 27. Nick Chubb, 25. Alvin Kamara, 38. CeeDee Lamb, 16. So a huge day from his guys, overshadowing Josh Allen, Dalvin Cook, and who is that? Who is Jay Williams for Detroit?
Jameson or Javonte Williams? Or no, Jameson.
Is that the guy that used to be on the Packers? It was like I felt like Olaf out there. Is that him?
I don't know. I know he's a running back. He's a real good character though, and he's like,
yeah, that's
he
him.
Has the most touchdowns.
He used to be on the Packers, and he would just have the wildest post game interviews. So yeah, big win for Uriah, 126-98.
All right, and then next I got the champion Goon Squad versus Nick's Broken Computer. This was a beating. I don't know what the low score is in this league, but this is not far off from Nick. I mean, he had 100. Nick had 49. He literally had less than that. Yeah, it has to be. Lamar was 21 of those points, and then Mike Evans was 15. He had a goose egg. Sammy Watkins 0.8, James Robinson 1.7. I mean, ain't nothing to be said about Nick. Good win by Shane though.
Yeah. All right. So I've got Kyle's big brother next versus their cousin Derek here, 131 to 101. I'll just say this: Dale has got himself quite a squad, but it looks like he's made some trades already from this team. Derrick Henry looks like he might be back, 35. Diggs with 19, Kyle Pitts with 17, and DJ Moore with 24 and a half. Overcoming Derek had Cousins with 24, Ramondre Stevens with 18, and Jerry Jeudy with 15. Still not enough. 30-point win for Jared.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you, here's another good, sneaky good team. Is actually my brother, Frank versus Cody. Cody had a good performance of 99 points. But Frank, I mean, his team's really putting it on, especially since that James Robinson trade. Dak Prescott's been doing big things in Dallas. They look really good. Aaron Jones is about the only thing in Green Bay worth a damn. Travis Etienne is finally coming to his own, and I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon. Amari Cooper went off, and he's just going to be even better whenever he gets an actual quarterback. Chris Olave only had 7.7, but I'm real high on him just because he's an excellent wide receiver and he can catch the ball. He lost Smith, tight end from Minnesota. That's a herder. But then 31 points from Foreman in Carolina, 3 touchdowns, 1 2-point conversion. Nobody saw that coming but Frank, and they made a good decision. Beat Cody 132 to 99.
Yeah, and I'll say this: if you need to get a wide receiver on your team and you're in the NFL draft, whoever's coming out of Ohio State, draft it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jackson Smith and Jigba will be the next guy.
Can Marvin Harrison Jr. go next year?
I don't think so. I think he's got to go one more year. But
he's gonna be stupid.
You look at it. You've got obviously Scary Terry, Garrett Wilson, Olave. And I'm sure I'm missing more, but those guys are just all beasts. So this brings us to our last matchup of the week. Twinkle Toes versus the Draft God. And if you look at it historically, this is probably the best fantasy player in the league versus the worst fantasy player in the league. Seth able to squeak out a victory, very, very close by less than half a point. Burrow and Russell Wilson negated each other. A.J. Dillon and Singletary, same with Himes and Hunt. The real bright spot for Seth being Tyreek Hill with 26 and
Cooper Kupp getting injured.
I'm sorry?
Cooper Kupp getting injured really helps Seth.
Yeah. Anybody gets another catch and it's ball game. So
yeah. Andrews got hurt early and Kupp got hurt early.
Congratulations to Seth, and I'll just go ahead and say it. The Draft God's on a 2-game slide. That's leading us into next week for week 9. Draft God drew the short stick. He's got to go up against the wagon that is Seth Pinky. Projected 95 to 92. I think I take this one this week, and we are going to be relying heavy on Kupp not being 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I mean, just with the lineup alone, depending on Cooper Kupp's injury, oh man, he just has such a good team. He has so many good scorers at receiver: Justin Jefferson, Mark Andrews, Cooper Kupp, and all 3 of those came off relatively quiet games. I don't expect 2 of those in a row. I'm gonna have to get
Mark Andrews is banged up, so
yeah, he's fine. He'll be back.
I've got him in another league in a tight end premium, so we need him. But,
next up, I got Blake and Cody. That's a pretty good matchup there. Jalen Hurts versus Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Joe Mixon versus Damian Pierce, Leonard Fournette, Miles Sanders. I'm going to have to go with Blake on this one. I mean, he did it to me last week. The thing I like about Blake's team is just the consistency of it. Like, most of his players are just going to score consistently every week. And it looks like Khalil Herbert's coming for that job. So I'm going to give that one to Blake.
Yeah, and so the next matchup I got, everybody's talking about Tennessee, Georgia this weekend. Matchup we ought to be talking about is the Mullins Bowl. So we've got Dale versus his little brother Kyle in a matchup of number 1 versus number 2. Both teams are 6-2. Jared projected for 104 with Kyle projected for 89. I'm not even going to go into the lineups. I just want to say this. Jared is 5-2 on a 5-game win streak. That's not stopping. Give Jared 6 wins in a row. Give Kyle 2 losses in a row. Jared moving to 7-2.
Yeah, I have to say I agree with you on that one. Jared's team is just stacked. Kyle's is good, but Jared's on a roll, like you said. Next game I got is myself versus Uriah. I mean, I got Najee Harris on the bye. I don't really know if that like makes a difference. Gus Edwards, he would plug in there. I don't know if we're gonna play him because we had a long week to Monday and then we go into the bye. I think we might want to give him an extra week to rest up. I mean, that's the difference maker. If Gus plays, I think I can pull out a win. If he doesn't, Uriah's gonna take it.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Next matchup I got Team Quite Frankly versus the Champion Goon Squad. And I'm looking here, and Shane has put out quite a bum squad this week, but I see he has McCaffrey, Pollard, and Debo all on the bye. So I don't know what you can expect from Claypool with Justin Fields. Right off the jump, I wouldn't think a lot.
Doesn't know the playbook.
Yeah, Godwin, the Bucks have looked so bad. I don't know who B Rivers is or R Rivers for the Rams. Frankie's got Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Jones, Travis Etienne, Olave, and then Big Man and Kelsey. This one seems like an easy one for Frank.
Yeah, it's open and shut for Frank on that one, I'd have to say. And then have we done Derek and John, the hot dog king?
No.
John is fighting. He ain't gonna get hot dogs twice. I know that. He's coming up against Derek, number 8 versus number 14. I mean, Derek has an edge on T. Higgins with Jamar Chase being out, DeAndre Swift, but like, I mean, Jamal Williams stealing all that work. I'm gonna have to give this one to John because I really like how he came out in that trade to get both Amon-Ra St. Brown and was it Scary Terry, I think? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he traded Devontae Adams and got St. Brown and Terry. And that I think that made his team really good. And he's gonna get that win.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with John as well, just because I need Derek to lose at this point. So sorry, Derek.
Praying on your downfall.
It just is what it is. It just is what it is. All right. Seth and Nick. Twinkle Toes and the Broken Computer going mano y mano. Seth projected 96. Nick projected 76. You look at Burrow and Lamar. Got to give that one to Lamar. Singletary and Henderson, both are gross. Eckler and James Conner, you got to like Eckler. Tyreek Hill over Mike Evans. Jacoby Myers and Juju, that one's got to be pretty close. Waller looks like he's finally back this week. Oh, well, the big gap being here at the flex. Watkins only projected for 189, less than 2 points. He's kind of a boom or bust guy. He's going to have to catch a touchdown to probably really do anything.
If I were Nick, I'd put James Robinson in right there.
I'm going to go ahead. He's probably the same way, though. He's got to get a touchdown to really do it.
And he's got to learn the playbook.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we need you to take it through the A gap here, James. Like, let's not act like he's got to do anything too intricate. I'm going to roll with Seth on this one. Again, not that I think Seth is an outstanding fantasy player. I just need Nick to lose as well. So,
yeah, I'm going to go with Nick on the upset here. I mean, I haven't called an upset yet this week, and I think if everybody plays on Nick's team, if Connor actually comes out and plays and he puts in James Robinson over Watkins, I think he just has a higher ceiling. But Sammy Watkins is also playing Detroit. I think Nick's going to come out and take that win, sneak one from Seth, like he deserves.
And did you do Blake and Cody?
Yeah, I think that's what we did first.
All right. Well, that is all of our matchups for this week. But again, let's just go through the standings real quick. We've got 3 teams at 6-2. The Mullins brothers and Frankie. 4th, 5th, 6th would be Seth, Blake, and Shane, all 5-3. Those teams all getting in the playoffs. And then It looks like the hot dog race has kind of trickled down to maybe
Me.
let's say 5 teams left, or 6 teams maybe in the hot dog race. Uriah, Cody, yourself, myself, Nick, and Derek. And you got to think that that Nick or myself would probably be the betting favorite at this point.
Yeah, most likely off the teams you guys have. Do you feel any type of way, like everybody else does, about these primetime slots?
What do you mean?
People are pissed about these primetime games all sucking. Like they're all shitty games.
Well, I mean, those are negotiated long before the season, so I wouldn't say pissed is the right word. Maybe annoyed more so than anything else. I do hate whenever it's Sunday, like the 1 o'clock or the 4 o'clock game, and like I don't get to watch all of like a really good game. Like Monday night, I had trick or treaters here, and I still like watched every fucking snap of that game. That game was not good.
No, it wasn't.
So it is what it is. I get it. They've got to give that to TV audiences. So, we
got Eagles Texans tomorrow. That should just be a beating, an absolute beating. And then,
oh my God, that's the game tomorrow night is Eagles Texans.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Turn on the World Series, even if you don't like baseball.
Yeah, that's a rough. That one's a rough watch. I don't even know of any really good matchups this week. Colts, Patriots.
So Indy at New England, Miami at Chicago, LA at Atlanta, Carolina at Cincy.
Dude, watch Jacksonville beat the Raiders. I'm putting that in.
Big bounce back spot this week for Vegas. Oh God, this is bad.
It's a bad week. I mean, honestly, the best games are going to be our game on Monday night against the Saints, the Seahawks Cardinals game. I don't see the Chiefs Titans game being much of a contest. I don't think the Titans are as good as their schedule reflects.
Yeah. I'm going to be at a music festival up in Greenville this weekend, so I'm not going to watch any NFL, but it looks like this is a good week to miss, to be honest.
Yeah, if there's a week to miss, it'd be this one. I'm excited to see Roquan Smith play there.
Yeah, I love whenever teams go all in. Let me pull up the college slate right here.
What about a wild day yesterday, the trade deadline?
Yeah, I think that
you got any big winners or losers
not getting
there?
Enough coverage is Miami getting that other running back.
Jeff Wilson.
Just because he knows the scheme, right? We got him and Mostert. They both know the scheme. So.
And they got Bradley Chubb. I mean, I think of the trades yesterday and the day before, I'd say, I mean, I know I'm biased, but I really like that we got Roquan Smith. I think the Dolphins did really good getting Bradley Chubb, and they turned that first round picks for Trey Lance into an empire.
Yeah, they got both of the wide receivers and Bradley Chubb and somebody else out of that deal.
I think the Bears took an L. They got Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Chubb. Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, I'm not so sold on Claypool, but I mean he's got all the physical tools to be great. So we'll see. We got 1 versus 3 in college this week. Oh, we got 6-10 Alabama LSU.
That'll be a good one.
Clemson Notre Dame. That's pretty good. Wake Forest NC State 21 versus 22. But yeah, tough slate this weekend for the NFL. I don't know what to say. Tampa is +3 versus the Rams. West Coast team coming east. I think Tampa, I've said this like every week in a row, but I think Tampa is able to get it done this week.
Yeah, they have to have a bounce back game again, but I really think losing Shaq Barrett is going to hinder them more than they are prepared for. I mean, he's a specimen, and he's gone for a long time.
I mean, he had 3 sacks against the Ravens?
Yep. I think I don't know, man. I think this whole divorce thing, like finally going and making its way, is gonna Tom can finally just relax and be himself.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people that are like, "Oh, just suck it up and get over it, you pussy." Like, all right. Let's just say this is some guy named Steven saying that. Like, all right, Steven, you were heartbroken over some girl that you matched with on Bumble, and you guys dated for 6 weeks. And you're telling Tom to suck it up? Bitch, that's his wife of 13 years. And what do they got? 3 kids together? Shut up.
Yep.
So, if anybody has earned the right to not play their best football, it's Tom. So, whatever. We still love him in Tampa. He brought us the Super Bowl last year, or year before last. So, it is what it is.
Revenge tour.
Yeah. So we got World Series tonight and World Series tomorrow night. We'll see.
If Phillies pull this out, it'll be like the biggest World Series upset in like 50 years or something, I read.
Yeah. I think Houston was minus 270 when the series started, and now I still think they're the betting favorite right now, though.
I saw something. It was like there's like a tell whenever the Astros pitcher list is like up here compared to like here. It's like a tell.
His back leg is like at a perfect angle whenever he's throwing a breaking pitch, and that's what you saw that one clip where the batter was coming off the base path, and he told the guy on the on deck circle something. That's got to be what he's telling him. It's like, hey, he's tipping the pitches. So
and then he immediately crushes it.
I'm sure they'll get that under control, though. So we'll see. Baseball needs this series to go 7 games. It's too much fun for it not to. So that is that. I don't know what to say. As of this moment, until further notice, I'm still going to be an Aaron Rodgers fan until Kyle brings the information forward to me, and then I'm willing to change my opinion at that time.
And here you have it here, folks. Well, I guess that's about all for us this week. Thanks for checking it out, and we will see you again next week.
See you, Gap.
See you.